Welcome to Kitchens of Faith, what New Yorkers of faith are cooking. My name is Debbie Young. Looking for a great autumn soup to make this weekend? Why not make pho? Spelled P-H-O, pronounced pho, a classic Vietnamese noodle soup, topped with meat slices and a rich broth with rice noodles. Today's recipe is shared by Mr. Han Leon, a professional chef and a member of Covenant of Grace Presbyterian Church, a Chinese Presbyterian church in America meeting in Briarwood, Queens. During a summertime faith gathering at Covenant of Grace, I met Han Leon, a French chef. His mouth-watering food caught my attention. And since I'm always on the lookout for recipes to use for Kitchens of Faith, I asked Han to share one of his. You may be wondering, why would a French chef in a Chinese church share a Vietnamese recipe? Good question. Let me explain. Han is ethnically Chinese but was born in Vietnam. After immigrating to this country, he trained as a French chef. He became a Christian shortly after he started to attend Covenant of Grace. At that time, there wasn't a weekly lunch fellowship. There were a few special lunches like for Thanksgiving. Han knows that many of the members enjoyed Vietnamese food. They would frequently go to a Vietnamese restaurant after worship service. Han decided to volunteer and organize a team to prepare lunch for Covenant of Grace. Today, Han and other volunteers take turns preparing a variety of food for their weekly lunches after every worship service. It is noteworthy to point out the role of food in Chinese churches. The Chinese love to eat. Many Chinese churches share a common meal. It is a sign that Chinese culture is here, communicating church's family and celebration, preserving their rich heritage. Most churches, big or small, do not have a weekly lunch fellowship after every service. Let's prepare pho. You will need a half a whole chicken, half a pound of beef shank, 3 quarts of chicken stock, homemade or canned, rice noodles, 1 package, soaked in cold water for about 2 hours, a medium onion and garlic. These 2 items we're going to char over the gas stove. And we're also going to use 1/8 cup of fish sauce. We're going to do a spice bag that contains 4 star of anise, 4 whole cloves, half a cinnamon stick, a half a nutmeg, and a half of whole garlic. And we're going to tie this up to make our spice bag. Over here we have our garnish, which we're going to use later on. We have hoisin sauce, sliced scallions, basil, and bean sprouts. For a complete recipe and the explanation of the ingredients, please check the sidebar. The first thing we want to do is make the soup. So get a big stock pot. we're going to add the broth. Add the chicken and the beef. We're going to put the spice bag and we're going to let that simmer. Meanwhile, we're going to char the onion and the ginger. So we're going to just put it right on top. And just do that for a few minutes until it gets nice and charred. Our ginger and onion is charred, so I'm going to turn off the flame. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape some of that char off before adding it to the soup. Okay, I'm going to add it to the soup. We're going to bring the soup to a boil for 10 minutes and then we're going to lower the flame to about medium for 45 minutes. We should skim the surface to remove the film and the fat. Let the foam and the fat off from the surface. And afterwards, let's go ahead and remove the chicken. I think I need some help. Hold on. Okay, we're going to let that cool. We want to add a half a quart of cold water and continue the simmering process. Meanwhile, bring to about 5 quarts of cold water to a boil. We're going to cook our rice noodles. And these have been soaking for about 2 hours, and now we're going to cook them. So add them in. And that's going to cook for about 2 minutes. Alright, our noodles are done, so we're going to drain them. Set that aside. Okay, right now we want to take the beef shank out. We'll let that cool. We're going to slice the chicken and the beef shank to top off our soup. Now what I want to do now is I want to drain the soup, strain it through a fine mesh. So I have that set up here, the sink. I'm going to just pour it through and just strain out all the other ingredients. So what's left is just the broth. Okay, we're going to continue to simmer the chicken, the soup broth. We're going to add the fish sauce now and just let that simmer. Divide the rice noodle up into 4 bowls. And with each bowl you can add some slices of chicken and beef. And you want to use some garnish. You could use some scallions, basil, bean sprouts, and if you like you can use a little hoisin sauce. The last part is we're going to ladle the hot soup onto the over the noodles. Wow, that looks fantastic. Okay, I'm going to taste it now. It's so savory. Thank you, Han, for your pho recipe. If you have a recipe to share, please contact me at nycreligion@live.com. Thanks for watching. This is Debbie Young, Kitchens of Faith, a journey through NYC religions.